So let's talk about envelope storage. If you think about it kind of like memory, where when the primary event occurs and it becomes charged and it becomes magnetic and it starts to create this bundle. So imagine if you took a magnetic ball and you started putting paper clips on it, it would start to just kind of create this bundle. So after a primary event, all the future sequence, and what I call it those flags, so imagine the paper clips as flags, all future sequence generation of these flags will be stored in this envelope storage for that primary event. Heart restoration, when you release the primary event, you take the charge out and that other stuff falls away. And so reverse engineering the triggers to the primary event, reverse engineering the flags essentially to the primary event, is the process that we use, and then once we get to the primary event, we use that heart restoration process to kind of take away the charge, take away that emotional charge, to release that. Removing the triggers, basically, so if you had at the center a charged event and then all these paper clips around it from other things that have happened over the course of your life that are really related to this one thing, it looks like a lot of problems, but it's actually not a lot of problems, it's this one problem. And so what you do is you start stripping away the stuff that you can see. What I mean by that is, in the case of the jam falling on the floor, when your parents yelled at you something bad happened, you aren't going to remember that. You're going to remember your boss just came in yesterday yelling at you because they tell you that you always do things that are wrong. And in the case of your boss, they're yelling at you because you did something wrong. And so that's your starting point. So you start peeling that away, and other stuff that's related. So you can either make a ton of statements to clear all these other things, which is one way of going. It's kind of the long way of doing it, is to just identify the stuff that's easy for you to see. You can see it, and then you can kind of clear that away. But in the end, you have to get to the primary event. That is the thing you're looking for. But as you kind of peel away those paper clips, you get a little bit closer and a little bit closer to the primary event. So in cases where it is hard for you to drill down to that first originating thing that happened, to put that in your field, and that belief in your field that I always get yelled at when I make a mistake, which would be your primary event, because of this, jam incident, you would be peeling away all these other things that you can see until you can get down to that point. That's one way of going, is just to say every belief I ever had, I'm going to write it all down, and I'm going to look at both the positive and negative side of this, and I'm going to make statements. It's a really long way to go, but you can do it. It's good when you totally aren't sure, and you still fail with drill down method. You can take a more broad approach, and this is a broad brush way of going, by kind of peeling away. When you're using the muscle test, you can go straight to the heart of when did this first show up in my field. That's the most potent and powerful way to do it. In some cases, you have to peel away some of the paper clips and pull away some of these more easily identifiable events to get to the heart of the primary event, and then using that heart restoration process to kind of remove the charge from it. I'll explain that entire process with you, and go through that whole process with you, but I'm trying to give you kind of an overview, understanding of what I mean when I say an envelope storage. It's all this other stuff that showed up in your field as a result of the primary event.